So as much as we try to avoid it, sometimes it happens. Sometimes we end up working 16-hour days. This isn't always a bad thing, it's also not always a good thing either. But regardless, as much as we try to avoid it, sometimes it does happen. And in fact, it happened to me recently. I ended up working 16-hour days for 3 weeks straight. Now, yeah, I was at kind of the end of my capacity at that point, but regardless, I was talking to one of my mentors the other day, and they're like, Andy, how did you do that? Like, you're still, nice and wide and awake and talking to me, so how did you manage to pull 16-hour days for 3 weeks straight? So I told them, and I figured since they found it interesting, other people would too. So here's how I was able to do it, and here's kind of my tips on if you're trying to pull 16-hour days as well. First, you need to love what you do. If you don't love what you do, it doesn't matter how long you try to work, it's just not gonna happen. You're gonna burn yourself out, it's that simple. So first off is you need to align yourself and align the work that you're doing with what you do best. One way to do this is to find your why. If you haven't read Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, I highly recommend it, or at least go check out his TED Talk. But either way, once you discover what your why is, you need to align the work that you're doing with that why. When you do that, you love what you do. When you love what you do, it's easy to work 16-hour days. Next up, find the flow state. So what is the flow state? Well, the flow state is this kind of point in time where you're performing your best and feeling your best. So basically what happens is when we hit the flow state, we actually have an increase in productivity. There was a study done that showed that there was actually a 5x times increase in productivity for people that regularly hit the flow state. 5x. That means 500% more productive than other people. So basically what happened was I could do the same amount of work on Monday that normally would take me all week to do. That's pretty incredible. And it was through finding this flow state on a daily basis that allowed me to get all this work done and be able to pull these 16-hour days. So what happens when, well, it's not just work you need to get done, right? It's actual creative work that you need to do. It's actually thinking through things. It's mapping out new programs. It's coming up with blog post ideas. How does that work? What happens when you hit that wall? Well, again, the flow state can help. So there was another study done by the University of Sydney that actually showed that participants in the study, when they were able to achieve the flow state, they actually achieved a 490% increase in creative thinking and processing. 490%. Again, that's huge. So when I would hit a wall, I'd hit the flow state, and then basically I'd be able to combine different concepts across different things that allowed me to kind of break through my walls and be able to map out these programs in a much easier way than sitting there and struggling all day long. Now, it's easy to say that I just sat here and got fluff work done, right? Programming, easy. Writing, easy. That's just productive work, right? That's that ship it work. But so what did I get accomplished in 3 weeks that took up 16 hours of my day? Well, I wrote 26 blog posts, shot, edited, and scheduled 26 videos, literally one for every single blog post. I coached, I think it was 3 to 5 classes per week, group classes. Then I also coached somewhere around 10 personal training sessions per week. I also conducted intro sessions, had meetings, had chats, and pretty much everything else that you still need to do, programming, while being a coach and owning a gym. So I got a lot done in 3 weeks. And yeah, again, it kind of reached my limit at that point, which is why I stopped. For as awesome as aligning myself with the work that I do that I love and finding the flow state helps, both of those have its limitations. Like, there's only so much the human body can handle. And so at the end of the 3 weeks, it was basically at my breaking point, and I was like, listen, I need to dial things back, which I've done now, and now I have a better balance, to say, of what I'm accomplishing in a day. I'm still getting a lot done, it's just not as much. It also doesn't take me 16 hours. At the end of the day, finding the flow state really just kind of helped me struggle more efficiently, and also helps me recover harder so that I can get back into it the next day and crank out that same kind of amount of work. So realistically, like on a daily basis, I was just aligning myself with the work that I was doing and also hitting the flow state through different triggers, and everyone's triggers are different. But it helped me accomplish a lot of work in 3 weeks and pull long hours while still having time to hang out with my wife, cook dinner, and play with my dog. So it definitely helped me. So it's definitely something that I've worked on over the past couple of weeks. And if you want to hear more about it, or if you want to know like how the flow state could possibly help you being a CEO of your gym, definitely reach out to me. I'd love to hop on a call and kind of chat about it, talk more about my experience, what worked for me, what didn't work for me, and maybe be able to help you more. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that little bell so that you get notified when I post new videos, and also sign up for our mailing list. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.